All right, here we go with the watch this video for Monday, November 23rd. The SPY is still kind of just flagging up here near all-time highs, so nothing really interesting going on there. Trading's been amazing. Hope it all continues into next week. This was my Friday. Check that out. That's always a good day when you can end your week like that. And best week I've had in a long time as far as just most solid, great trading all 5 days in a row, great gains all 5 days in a row. So let's keep the teamwork going this week. Couple highlights from Friday I'll share with you. I called NETE, the old suit G, straight out of the gate gap play through 10. We had Thursday's high just above as another catalyst. I thought it was one of the sort of maybe not undiscovered, but really untraded as far as any kind of volume goes, EV plays yet. So it was kind of my main focus at the open. I actually got filled right there. And my best sell, I scale out. So my best sell was 1092. And I left a lot on the table. But remember, this was, the entry was, you see right here, less than 2 minutes into the session. Usually I'm uncomfortable with an entry like that. And so I'm more apt to probably scale out more quickly and then look for more solid setups once the morning unfolds. Also called SPI because Sun W was ripping. Called SPI through 9 over the mic. You can see I got filled right there, and it ended up ripping too. There's just a couple of highlights from the day. There were so many good calls, I didn't even write them down. I wanted to start my weekend, to be honest with you. So what are we watching for Monday? Remember, when you watch my videos, I'm looking for things that can pay me intraday, the following trading day. I am not in anything right now. I don't hold overnight. So I build a list of stocks that might give a nice move intraday. And then I wait for A-plus setups on an intraday basis before I'll take a trade. NETE, it's starting to get found, right? The biggest volume day since late September, and it's starting to curl up, and you still got some recent highs nicely above. So it looks less extended than like a Solo or an FUV or an AYRO. All of those will be on charts this week, but they're not on my list for Monday because they're so extended. Doesn't mean they won't give trades, and I still might even find a trade in any of them because they are on one of my monitors, right? So NETE, certainly worth watching again. KX, I didn't type that right. KXIN, kind of a massive mover back here and kind of starting what looks to be a second leg. We'll see. I think this got lumped into the EV plays. I think they're, do your research because don't quote me on anything. I think somebody said they're like Chinese used cars and somebody lumped them in with the EV plays. And maybe they have an EV angle, I don't know. But because it did this back here, I think that played a role in it doing this on Friday. Absolutely wanted to keep on watch though. Look, 135 million shares and a nice little mini breakout. So we are going to watch it. MDGS, which is usually on my do not trade list. I believe it's an Israeli stock. And one thing you should notice if you trade like I do is every time this gaps up, it sells off here, right here, here, and then look at all of them, right? It always gets slapped down. But most of the days it gets slapped down, if you look, you don't see the very next day it curling right back up. And it's holding up better than usual. And I think they put out a PR on Friday where they're entering the EV space. Remember when Bitcoin was crazy? By the way, Bitcoin's strong again. But back in the day when Bitcoin was crazy, companies that made iced tea and made soda and everything, they would find a way to put Bitcoin or crypto or blockchain in a headline, and then the stock would go crazy. I think that's sort of, you're starting to see a little bit of that in the EV space, right? So anyway, and MDGS did it on Friday. But the chart's kind of interesting, so you may get a short squeeze in this one of these days, so it's on watch. MARA, speaking of Bitcoin, is perceived to be a Bitcoin play. Topped out at 350 back here. Actually, it says 351, and then 350 on Friday. So through the 350 area with any kind of fervor on Monday, might get it going. I'll certainly check the Bitcoin chart itself on Monday morning, see how it's doing. PPSI, I don't know. This is something to do the electric something space, and maybe they've got an EV angle. I couldn't find anything though, but it had this massive move back here. This was because of a hurricane approaching, and they have a generator angle. I'm not sure what this secondary pop is, but it is kind of interesting because back here topped out around 450, pulled back for a few days and starting to curl back up. So the chart's interesting enough. I put it on watch, but I'm not sure what's going on there. Craig is a Chinese play, Chinese, I want to say like recycling play or something, but the chart's interesting. Got a recent high here, lower high, and it's starting to curl back up. A little bit of extra volume on Friday, so I put it on a chart. Sun W, big breakout on Friday, closing well off its highs though. Solar play, SPI, same solar play, curling up but closing well off its highs. I'm gonna watch both of those. Tigger TIGR had this big pop on Thursday, kind of a quiet inside day on Friday, so I still think it's worth watching. No trades in it on Friday. NKLA, an EV play that had this pop back here and kind of flagging. If you switch to 15s, you kind of see it better, right? Here's the move, and then here's the flag right here. So I do want to keep an eye on that because that space has been red hot. HPR, didn't type that right either. HPR, most traders would look at this, including me, and say, hey, you've got a couple topping tails here. This isn't that interesting. It certainly had great volume recently, and this day doesn't look like that big of a candle, but it went from a low of 758 to 1470 this day. So it can move, right? Switching to 15. So there's that big day. And then on Friday had a nice, really early pop, but then kind of bled lower. So daily with the topping tails, not so interesting. But it's a stock that had a recent almost double in one day. So you kind of expect it to struggle back near that day's high. I'm going to watch that one all week. I think we might get a nice intraday rip in it. And then lastly, KZIA had to move basically from 6 to almost 16 in about a week. So that's massive. Now we've got 2 days lower back down near 10 bucks on declining volume. I still like it as a potential bounce play. I'm sure we're going to find a bunch of gappers in the pre-market to add to this list because we have. I've started each morning lately with like 12 to 15 gappers on watch. So there's a lot to watch. Show up with some caffeine in your system and hopefully we'll have another great week. I'm done babbling. We'll see you in chat on Monday morning.